Forbes article. We'll link to all of these in the show notes of this episode as well, all the posts that we're talking about. And it's talking about what companies that grew in 2020 realized about sales training. Victor, some of these will become the 6 things that companies realized about sales training that they should have probably realized 30 years ago when they first started implementing it. But we'll run through these now because I thought they were interesting. And the point of this is that perhaps sales training isn't just all about the numbers. There's other elements to it as well. So number 1, employee satisfaction. If you're well trained, I guess, and you go to your workplace and you're happy with what you're doing, if you can deal with rejection, you've had training on things like this and maybe some of the motivation and mindset elements of selling, you're probably going to be more satisfied at work. You're going to be more motivated. Better employee retention. And there's data here within this article from Serious Decisions via Forrester that shows each time a B2B sales rep turns over, the opportunity cost in total loss of sales productivity is $200,000. That would pay for a whole bunch of sales training right there, wouldn't it, if we could keep these employees retained a little bit longer. Number 4, sales results. Clearly an obvious one. Number 5, company culture. Number 6, the agility of the enterprise, which was clearly tested in 2020, right?
Yes, it was. So anyway, I mean, none of these are surprising, right? I mean, it's like if you have poorly trained salespeople, they're going to be not performing, therefore they're not going to be motivated, satisfied, and want to move on to some other opportunity that'll probably better fit them. So yes, thank you for stating the obvious, Forbes. Is it me? By the way, I'm calling Forbes out. I'm going to call Forbes out. Every time I read a Forbes article, it's like, paint is used to color. Well, thank you, Forbes. I had a hard time with that. Floor cleaner is to clean your floors. It's almost like they state the obvious. So anyway, sorry, Forbes. I'm feeling that way about Forbes. Yeah, I mean,
got to get those clicks, mate.
It's just like some cheap mental candy that they throw up on their websites. Correct. It's like it's hard to find some good quality content there sometimes. So, Forbes, if you listen to me, I said it.
Have you ever subscribed to Forbes' actual physical magazine?
No, I have not. Is it better?
I have not either. But I assume that when I think about Forbes, that's the content within the magazine that is probably useful, relevant, thoroughly researched, as opposed to the clickbaity articles that are there. The worst one for me, though, Victor, is Business Insider. I was on Business Insider the other day. It was researching today's show, and there was an article, I can't remember what it was now, and you'll have seen this where you scroll to the bottom of it and the next one automatically drops in so that even if you haven't read the bottom one, they're still getting paid for the advertising clicks on the next page. And it was a product, it was a, I think this might be a sore subject to bring up again, but it was a hair dye product. It was nothing to do with the article that I was reading. There was no machine learning AI algorithm going on there. It was clearly like they're trying to flog some kind of hair dye product to people via Business Insider. And so the next article was that, which just immediately made me click off it and now slam them on this show. They could have had a more relevant article. I probably would have got more attention, more reading time, but instead they wanted to throw some more nonsense down my throat.
It's like, when I look at Forbes, Business Insider, I'll even throw Entrepreneur magazine in that. Some of the stuff is just so obvious. You're like, this doesn't want to make me subscribe. You just irritate me at this point. And what they do is they get all these writers, right? Who, I don't know, wrote a book, who, people you never heard of. And they write this article and they frame it like it's brilliant. 5 ways to fill in the blank, and you're like, and then you read it, you're like, this is really ABC. And you feel insulted. Anyway, sorry about the rant.
Victor, the thing is, though, we clicked the article, didn't we?
We did.
Who's to blame? For it. They're just fulfilling a market need.
It's the search engine's fault. The search engine's fault. They should have an AI application that says cheesy, 3 levels. Cheesy, don't read. Yeah. Might be interesting. You should be paying for this because it's that good. I want those 3 levels. Maybe have 3 colors.
This might be interesting for the audience. Something that search engines do is they monitor dwell time when you click off the search engine and when you come back. So this is again the weirdness of Google monitoring everything you're doing. If you search for how to make a cold call on Google and you click on a Forbes article and immediately come back, then Google rates that article as poor and it will drop it throughout the search engine rankings. Now, if you click it, then click on it, because Google's tracking continuous clicks. Once you've gone via Google, they're continuously tracking you along that thread. Then if you end up on 4 different websites, watch a video, and then spend 35 minutes, and you tune into a podcast and spend another hour, that search engine result will go higher up the rankings. So they're trying to do what you're describing there, Victor, but just the clout of Hub.
Well, 2 things. Let's talk about Google. 2 things for Google to help them out, because apparently they need help here. One, if that's exactly how the algorithm works, maybe you should color code your search listings. What if they came out yellow, red, green? Because they knew your personality. Says this red one here, you probably don't want to read that one. The other one, maybe, or the green one's definitely for your level. Or maybe create something called Google Pro. Yeah, I just made that up. Google Pro. And that is, that's where you pay an extra subscription and they filter out all the cheesy garbage out there for you. And I don't know how you would define.
Victor,
Google Pro.
Your search engine results are different to my search engine results. They are already doing this. So you click a bunch of Forbes articles, they'll show you more Forbes articles.
So you're basically saying to me, Victor, if you're getting
I never get Forbes on my search engine results because I'm not an idiot.
Maybe because your searches are dumb.
I only get the most sophisticated content in my Google feed.
I'm losing how many times you've dissed me on this show today, so I've lost count.
I think it has to be slightly lopsided on this one. Well, Victor,